Welcome back to Lit versus Genre, everybody. And Jeff, so how many more days do we have before this premiere? Like,
I
it's
should have a
like three
tattoo of it
weeks,
coming out.
right? It's like
Yeah, it's about.
so we can't keep doing this. I can't keep
I
up this
mean,
pace for 3 weeks, my friend. I just
I don't know what to say. I mean, obviously back because the real trailer dropped. Spoilers. I think it already did. I think Moraine's story was already the real trailer.
yes.
That trailer actually made some sense. That trailer maybe hype like the clips for some others did. We're back today because this is the quote unquote real one. But
So
yeah,
what was that first one? Oh, so the first one was the teaser,
that was the teaser
and then
trailer.
this is the
Then the next one was
trailer.
Moraine's story. It
Mm-hmm.
was called Moraine's Quest, is what it was called. Um, so this is apparently the real trailer. So for fun, I'm gonna try to imagine that nothing else has happened. And like, what if this was the first trailer that was released? What would my hype levels be for the show? I don't know yet because I have not watched this trailer. Live reaction time just came out. I'm pumped. I'm hopeful.
We caught poor Rosamund here in like one of those like photos, where like you're the one person in the half blink and it goes up on Facebook anyway.
She looks so peaceful and serene to me. I'm good.
The,
I'm sold more and more seeing her as Marine. There was a fun comment on the last video we put up about someone talking about how they really don't visualize things when they're reading books, which I know some people don't because that's actually a talking point. I read it in some cases. Um, but to me, Marine really cast very well, in my opinion. So I'm excited. They were basically saying that every person they get to see is like, oh, so that's what they look like. I mean, that's a really cool reaction. I wish I could have that. But for me, who has these preconceived notions, this is looking good, especially serene Marine right here.
all right. Well, this is the don't tag me on Instagram photo right here, but we're
Is it?
gonna
Is it?
yeah. So we're gonna
Let's do this.
let's do this.
Please
Swear
begin.
your oath, Moraine Sedai.
I swear to speak no word that is not true, to make no weapon with which one person may kill another, and
I
never to use the one power as a weapon.
Do you know what Aes Sedai means in the
okay.
Altar?
You gotta stop it. You gotta stop it.
Servant.
This
Yeah,
already
this
crazy.
is this is nonsense. Not use it as a weapon. She like fucking wrecks people in the first
well,
book. Just wrecks them.
Well, yeah, so you can't use it against as a weapon unless against Shadow Spawn or in defense of yourself or your warder is the
Oh,
idea.
okay. So there's many
Oh.
exceptions to this rule that we just heard.
So what I'm hyped about there right there, that was the Oath Rod. That's what this is not a big spoiler to people, I can't imagine. This is what I said I swear on when they swear the oaths. And there's the three oaths basically. So
Hmm.
that's hype. I mean, that's cool. I mean, time in the tower. Besides the fact that again, the costumes are completely monochromatic, so people aren't confused. Beyond that, I'm excited for time in the tower. But the nonsense part, I think we're talking about. Well, I guess you were saying that the oath was nonsense, but is
Yeah.
her seeming to face off against Logain there? Like,
Oh no, I think they were just cutting. I think they were just
I
cross
don't know
cutting.
because they showed her beside people.
Oh, with the making that same thing we saw
Yeah, so
in
see
the
how
other
it's them right
trailer.
there, and they look like they're in a similar place
Yeah.
to it. So I'm wondering if, again, like we sort of hypothesized in our last video, like what is this show seems like they're trying to alter things to insert stakes into the existing story as opposed to going deep text or condensed two books, as we've already discussed. So I feel like this is perhaps another indication of that trying to thrust Moraine more into the conflict that is Logain.
New
Maybe.
prediction. You ready? You ready for this new
Yeah.
prediction? This is the
Do it.
cold open. Logain
Mm.
escapes scene one, and Moraine is partly fails here in keeping Logain from not escaping. But maybe also she kind of realizes you're the fake dragon in this first scene, and then she needs to go find the real one.
Yeah, but from the other, I like number one. I like that prediction. Like like
I
that
am
would be
unafraid to make predictions.
yeah, no,
Unafraid.
no, no, do it. Make all the predictions. I love it. Unsupported prediction. No, I'm joking. Like, no, I think that would be awesome if that's how this opens, right? Um, However, because of the last trailer that talks about her being on her quest to find this kid that was born 20 years ago, Logan's obviously looking older than 20. And plus, if she's on that quest, how is she involved in this? So I feel more like I think what will happen is she'll kind of get caught up in things, maybe as the crew is traveling, that type of thing. That's my guess for this, but we'll see. But it does seem like she's involved in it due to the setting, right? Like
Right.
these would just be like other Aes Sedai that she could be in, Tarvalon with. But from
Yeah,
this
so the
scene,
dark with the
yeah,
torches.
the
Yeah,
torches, it looks like this is the Logain scene.
right.
Setting him up more as a direct, yeah, that looks like it's the same room.
Yeah.
And even the style of his bars looks similar to the style of those torches that's back there. Like that,
Yeah. All
that
right.
framework.
All right.
Yeah, wherever it is, right? Is this beneath Tarvalon? Is it somewhere on the road?
I'm saying
It
this
wouldn't
is
make
the
sense.
big magical cold open. I'm
Okay, I
gonna
mean,
stick with that. I think that's
it would be
I think it's gonna
like it
happen.
would. That would be hot. Don't get me wrong. Like it would be cool if that's how it kicked off with this magic and this scene. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's got the makings of what would be a great hook for sure. Because what if they go more for that than the actual prologue? Because we have
Hmm.
seen no scenes of the actual
Right.
prologue, and anyone wants to go back for a
Do
trip
we know that
and watch.
Luz is cast?
I don't know because I try to avoid those. It's funny with everything we're doing, but I try to not get too involved with the casting because I don't want to have as many preconceived notions. I just want to kind of watch them in their environment, with the costume on so I can envision them as that character as opposed to seeing them like, outside of Starbucks or something. And I'm like, you're not this person. So I don't know. I don't know if Lucerne has been cast, but it would support your theory, which is the point of the prologue, and I was going to say if people want some good fun, you can go back and watch our very, very first episode where we talk about the prologue, and Steve was like,
Where
what?
I'm incredibly
What did
lost
I just
the
read?
whole time.
What is this? I am so confused constantly, right? Um, but that might be their thoughts as well, that they don't want to do that. And the thing that prologue does is it makes promises about you are entering a world full of magic. So
Hmm.
even though you're then getting these bumpkins in a little town that don't have magic, you know what's possible in the world, and that's what makes it awesome. Because you were talking before about like hooks and what get people interested. I think that's a huge one. So maybe if they're foregoing that prologue and doing something like this, I could see it as a replacement for that, as you're hypothesizing.
Let's see. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm glad I got one big bold prediction
yeah,
out
yeah,
there
yeah.
now. We'll see if it pays off. Okay, so
For
let's
sure, for
continue.
sure. Yeah, let's go.
Who's this new dude that shows up?
Do you know what Aes Sedai means in the old tongue? Servants of all.
Okay, you got
It
it
is
again.
they
So
who save them.
I do know enough to say that's Tom.
That's
And
Tom.
even though we were complaining about his handlebar mustache before, I can see maybe why that dude was cast. Like he had me at, do you know what Aes Sedai is? Like just
Oh,
like
really?
I do not know who that actor is, but I like that actor. There's some gravitas in what he's saying. There's some,
Yeah.
ooh, that worked for me. That worked for
All
me.
right. All right. He
Yeah.
seems. I guess the more now that I've learned about Tom, like originally I was not thinking like Tom was this like sexy dude, but I guess like he did like get with the queen, so it casts a whole new light. I was thinking of him more just like a goofy old man.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what he is more in the book, right? And they're more talking about his younger years, obviously spoilers for the Queen. But I think, as we've already said, they totally aged up the cast to work the sex angle. I mean, if you've got the mandate to be the next Game of Thrones, I think in their heads they're going to be like, we gotta have sex, even though that's not what the show, it's not what the books. But anyway,
This
we can have that whole conversation.
all
But it
I'm
seems like they're
saying,
going in with that idea, right?
all I'm saying is this dude better juggle like
No,
a
he best be
mother.
doing some acrobatics.
Is
I
all
want
I'm
harp
saying.
playing. I think they're going to go the harp playing, singing, stuff like that. I'm just saying
Juggle,
that
man. You gotta juggle.
I'm just saying, I was talking with someone else about this in the comments before about my complaints about like Rand's height. And we both really agreed, like, if Rand is an amazing actor, okay, right? Like if you are recasting somebody, and it's not quite what I imagine, but that actor just kills it and makes me believe in the world, sure, fine. So, if that's what happens with this guy, and I'm seeing a taste of that right here, I like it.
All
Here's
right,
hoping.
here we go.
Sedai means in the old tongue. Servants of all. It is
Like
they
seeing Marine
who
as a
serve
jewel
the world.
I didn't choose this path, but I will follow it.
Where next?
The Two Rivers. The old blood runs deep in those mountains.
Explaining more of where they go there.
Let's hope it's prepared them for what's coming. The Dark One is waking. But there will be one who can stand against him. And it's one of the five of you.
You've truly lost your mind.
Your life isn't going to be what you thought.
I feel we have to stop. We have to stop. We have to. We have to.
They are dropping some shit. Okay, so before we get to the five, which is the big thing, first we're seeing scenes of them before they go to the Two Rivers. I think that thing with Logain's like the start of the whole show, and then we're with Moraine going to the Two Rivers. We only get to Two Rivers like I'm gonna say 20 minutes in.
I mean, you might. I mean, again,
It's just my prediction. We'll see. We'll see.
Like, I'm gonna pretend like I haven't seen anything, and then I talk about all these other things. I failed. I completely failed to view this trailer. Okay, we're tossing the idea out the window. With what we know, yeah, I mean, with the GQ article that we also made a recording of, the showrunners talk about wanting time in the Two Rivers and living in the Two Rivers. So you might be right. I think we will spend some time in the Two Rivers, but maybe to him, some time is like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then compared to most who are like get in and out as fast as you can, right? So I don't know, but yeah, I mean the fact they're doing a clear setup for sure of like where next. So yeah, no, it makes it seem like something happened. He's like, what's up next? And she's like, it's Two Rivers time. So you could be right. What do you think about them taking away that choice from her though?
Wait, what? What do you mean?
Oh, she says like it's not my choice to do this, which I feel like she's saying it's not her choice to go find the Dragon Reborn or something, which to me takes away some of her agency and badassery. I mean, it seems more like she's doing like, I must do this for the betterment of the world.
Right.
Yeah, cool. But Moraine's a bit more layered than that, so
I don't know what she's talking about right there. That could mean anything. I don't really.
I suppose, yeah. But I have so much fun jumping to conclusions.
You do. You love it.
What can I rail against if I didn't jump to?
Well, we can rail against the five because this is something that like straight up doesn't make any sense.
I was setting you up for that. Exactly.
This is the one that I finally might agree with you on. That I'm like, this seems unimpeachable in the story that it can't be either of the girls. Like, because that's how the story works. But I mean, I just threw my pen. I'm so shocked that I just threw my pen. What do you think's going on there, Jeff? Speak.
Well, I mean, they're already. I feel like we can't talk about this without talking about other ways that they've made the show more inclusive, right? So, like, for instance, you've got and I promise this will relate back, you've got the Two Rivers as mixed ethnicities, right? Which, if you go to most small towns, or at least in my experience, small towns in America, that's generally not going to be the case. Like, the Two Rivers is supposed to be off, like, on its own kind of thing going on. Like, Rand's an outlier compared to anybody else the way he looks. And so I feel they're doing that, to create more inclusivity in the viewing audience and, give opportunities for, actors of different backgrounds to portray these great roles. And I think they're looking to do
not really description in there about like skin tone or anything. I mean, I get what you're saying that it would be more homogenous, I guess, but why not in this fantasy world
Oh,
It
because you do get descriptions of how the other places are that are different. Like, for example,
okay.
sea folk look really different than, so there, you can figure
Sure.
it out through other context clues. But my point is just that that's one way they're diversifying. And it seems to me with a line like that, they're looking to make the same diversification with gender. Just to, again, make it more inclusive that anyone
So
could be the
you
dragon.
think the magic system doesn't work the same way as in the book?
So,
Do
considering
you
what we've
know it
seen,
doesn't work the same way as in the book?
no. I'm just saying, like, from what we've seen with the imagery showing the kind of the white true source for the women, and then that one brief little shot that you did a great job of pausing on when we were doing the last video, where it's white and then turns into black,
Yeah.
does make it seem that it is showing the dark one's taint. So I don't know how they could get away from the men go crazy. That's such a huge plot point. And so could
Yeah.
they do it as the Dragon Reborn
So
as a
she
woman?
must be saying like one of you can stop him. It
Right.
does
I don't think
not
she
mean she's
necessarily.
talking about the Dragon Reborn.
Right.
Since we know, I guess spoilers. I guess spoilers
Right.
first book, everybody. But since we
Right.
know first Egwene's going to be the greatest Aes Sedai ever, then we know Nynaeve's going to be even greater Aes Sedai ever. That she could be
Well, I
referring
do
to
think
that.
by the, they're huge spoilers, but
I said
yeah,
spoilers. I said spoilers, y'all.
I do that. I suppose.
And this is just
But
what Robert writes in like, the halfway through the first book.
so I would just say that I think right now they're just trying to keep it more open-ended, right, to keep it more exciting for all viewers, that type of thing.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, I think what she could mean is, yeah, someone could just have an impact whether or not they're the Dragon Reborn. Now that doesn't really make sense for the prophecy. Like, the prophecy, it is very Dragon Reborn centric. I think the book does a good job of making other characters incredibly important as well. And I feel like, again, this is just sort of the TV version, making things simpler. Like, we're not going to talk about the nuances of how you all could be important in different ways. We're going to say any of you could stop the Dark One, like that. So yeah, I feel like they're just making it more simplistic
And
to
it
get
also in the
over.
last thing we watched had like and this just felt like cutting something maybe slightly deceptively, but when
Mhm.
she was talking about dreams and
Mhm.
somebody Nynaeve woke up or something, one of the
Right.
girls, either Egwene or Nynaeve, like started up like awake after we
They
saw
did.
Rand and Perrin do it. So like, all right.
I mean, if they went that route, it would be interesting. It would. I mean, it would definitely be some changes. I mean, don't get me wrong, looking back, I would like it if there was both. I think it would have been cool to me. I can't, I feel like this is going to get into deeper spoilers, so I can't say it. Okay, I'm not going to say it. But yeah, we'll see. My curiosity is absolutely piqued as to how they would go.
Yeah.
Strangely, I don't feel as I'm not as a super fan. Like if they want to play around with that some, that doesn't bother me as much.
All right.
So
All right.
I mean, I definitely you got to have that there's one group that can use the power, and we are like a power structure in the world in the way we're viewed, and this other group can't because they go crazy. Like you
Yeah.
got to keep that. You
And
got to
and
keep
has
that.
there
But
historically been some pushback or criticism to that being so bifurcated male female in the books?
yeah, I mean, especially with gender fluidity
Right.
being, what it is these days. I mean, there was just a Tor article that came out that was very involved
Uh-huh.
about base magic systems and how they are here. So yeah, I mean,
Interesting.
this is coming out at a very interesting time because
Mm.
yeah, there's tons of magic, but it's gender based. Yeah, So again, it's funny. I was actually just talking to my wife, this guy who about this, and about how like they're like, we want the next Game of Thrones with us, and how Wheel of Time is just like not that for this. And there's other, books and fantasy series out there that are like super sexy with big magic and stuff like
Uh,
that. It's just interesting that they chose Wheel of Time. I'm glad they did because I love Wheel of Time.
oh, well, what are those,
But yeah,
Chuck? Maybe we should be reading those. Maybe
Steve's
maybe
like,
that's the
I'm
one
ready.
that I
I'm
want to
ready.
be reading.
one that just came up was, I mean, we talked about Mistborn last time. That one's not super sexy, but that's super magic heavy and super action oriented. So I feel like you could easily get people going for action scenes, and it's a female lead. So in terms of super, lots of sex. So like, in fact, people complain in some cases that it's like a soap opera because of all the various sex. Is the Demon Cycle series by Peter B. Brett. It's got tons of magic system demons in it, and like I said, lots of sex. So that's something that feels like it would have been more similar and easier to do. Some of the crazy conflicts we were talking about last time that occur in Game of Thrones.
All right.
But Wheel of Time has, the popularity, and I've, as you said before, I do absolutely think there are aspects of the story they can lean into to get that audience buy-in. I don't know about the same level, but anyway. With this, though, to answer your question about gender here, I think there's been some, and I am curious how they're playing with it. Definitely seems like they're trying to keep it ambiguous, again, to attract as many viewers as possible. I wonder if they're worried that if like, oh, it's a story about three boys and one of them's real important, if, people are going to be like, nah, I don't want to listen to that. I don't want to watch that. But there are these incredibly important and powerful female characters, some of the most powerful female characters I've ever read in fantasy stories in this show. So I feel like they're trying to show that quickly with a throwaway line like any of you five could do it.
All right, let's keep
What
going.
do you think? Let's do it.
But there will be one who can stand against him. And it's one of the five of you.
Yeah, they're really pushing
You
it.
fully lost your mind.
Your life isn't going to be what you thought.
Moraine.
What are those? His army is coming.
Oh, give me trouble. Oh, that looks so good.
We
Yes!
protect people we love,
So,
no matter the cost.
just
Okay, hold on though. I need to check something out here.
that.
Okay, we'll look at our Trolloc friends again. So
Yeah.
this army's coming over. They really see them way ahead.
Yeah, it looks like the town's already been attacked. And it
Right,
looks like
right. So this is like
Look
another
how
wave
good
or
that
something.
looks.
Yeah, that looks cool.
Oh, wow. Look at all the people that are on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah, that seems like a little bit more. I mean,
Whoa.
Nynaeve and Egwene are running all around, nursing everybody,
They
and they
are.
seem like really overworked in the book, but yeah, you don't get the same kind of like feeling like bodies
No.
everywhere sort of thing.
I think
And
again
they're
they're
coming
doing
back. Like, is this?
Moraine.
What are those? His army is coming.
an army. I think there's different between army and
We protect
I think
people
that's
we love, no matter the
But
cost.
that was definitely back at Tam and Rand's place.
Yeah. I would say it's definitely at the farm. Guess how can we not say spoilers? Yeah, but yeah, that was at the farm. So number one, that this trailer is working. This trailer, this feels like a trailer. This
Yeah.
feels like they put something together. Go ahead. I feel like you got something to say.
Oh, well, yeah, I was confused there by Egwene going, "What's that?" If they had already attacked, I mean, I would assume that's more of those jerks coming to mess us up even
Maybe
more.
Maybe if
But
they attacked in darkness before and they weren't
yeah,
carrying torches, maybe
yeah.
they appear different kind of thing.
Either way, like everything feels very different. Like my kind of fears of them going like they're not going to make changes doesn't feel like that's the case because they don't get a second attack to Two Rivers in the
Uh,
book.
I think they're emphasizing why they have to leave.
Yeah,
I
like
think
they're pushing them more to
they're
go with them to
emphasizing
justify that decision more. Yeah.
in two ways. In two ways. One, by having all these dead bodies, right?
Mhm.
One, if like that looks like the Two Rivers got partially massacred, right? Which would obviously create a lot more tension,
Right.
So yeah, it seems like they are escalating certain aspects to create greater tension within the given framework of the story.
Right. And to make like
Interesting.
character decisions make sense in
Yeah,
this, new version.
right.
And it does kind of it speeds everything along, but it also like
Mhm.
justifies those decisions a little bit more. Like,
Exactly.
is Egg coming with us? Well, yeah, because there's an army of
Right, right.
beast
And it's
creatures coming down the hill, and we gotta
well,
hightail it.
especially if Moraine's like any of you five can destroy the Dark
Right,
One, well
right,
then
right,
or can start the Dark One. Then Egwene doesn't have a choice, right? Even if she did just get indoctrinated into the women's circle,
right.
as we've been debating,
Mm-hmm.
then she has to leave, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, no, okay, I see.
It's
I
not just
see
for
what they're going
funsies.
for. I see what they're going for with this. Listen, I said from the beginning I wanted to be wrong about my reactions to the trailer. I said from the beginning I want the show to be amazing. And while I will still pick it apart to death because that's who I am, this is making me happy.
I mean, that is
I'm
what
happy.
we are absolutely not being paid to do right now, so we're gonna do it,
Right,
right?
right.
All right, let's keep
Okay,
going.
so this is making me think Wasteland, like
Mm.
Ideal, which
Mm.
whew, whew, that makes it
Okay, I don't know
me
anything about
excited
that.
too.
All right,
All
let's
right,
back it up a
well, I got
little.
yeah, no, let's see, This is this is life right now. This is so fun.
No matter the
Okay.
cost.
Our enemies are everywhere. They will leave no one standing.
We've lost too many people already.
Okay, go. We got
I can't lose you.
I think you might be right. It looks like there's a lot of pre-stuff that they're doing. I
Mm.
feel like they showed Land's history there with him standing alone in the dark,
Mm.
like on the tower
Okay.
in like shadows. And then those scenes with like him and Moraine like crying. I think I mean, maybe they are just showing shots from later on, but some of this feels like stuff that's showing their history of how they got to this point,
Hmm.
you know? Um,
I wonder if
so
they'll do
yeah,
a
it does seem like we're gonna get
flashbacky
some,
structure.
yeah, like flashbacks and stuff.
I want to say
Uh,
this.
yeah, so that's
Uh,
gonna be the ridiculous white cloaks.
I love this dude though. Wait, what do I know this dude from?
Oh
He
yeah,
looks really familiar. I don't know what else he's been in. But do you
interesting.
think this is the big bad, the guy that I love in the books?
Maybe I thought it was gonna be the other guy because he had the gold
Right, right,
thing
right,
there. But
right.
maybe this is his right hand man. Is Bornhall? Wait, wasn't it? Why am I forgetting their names?
Bornhold's like the main dude, and then I forget what his dumb lackey guy was.
Anyway, but
Yeah, if this guy's Bornhold, I'm psyched because I love this
all
dude.
right, okay, all right. Yeah, it does seem like they're doing some
Somebody tell
history
me
there. It
down
looks
below
like
in the things what I know him from. What are we burning at the stake
yeah.
here?
So I think that's Land's homeland right there.
Oh, okay.
Briefly, maybe where they're burning. I would
Our
think this is
enemies
white
are
cloaks
everywhere.
doing their business.
Right, right,
They will
right.
leave no one standing.
There's white cloaks being white cloaks.
We've lost too many people already. I can't lose you.
You won't.
If we do not stop the Dark One now,
That's definitely
the
really
whole
good.
world will burn. I can't allow it.
Okay, I want to like look. So where? I guess we're just running
Mhm.
through the woods here. I guess because they interplayed it with this, which I think is the way gate.
That's 100% the way. No question.
But then
Where is
they
Lowell?
went to this, and I was wondering.
Where is
Lowell
Lowell?
has been cast though, right? We've talked.
If they don't have Lowell, if they don't have Lowell, I will be so sad. I need my history lessons in the world. If I do not get my history
Cut,
lessons,
cut,
um,
cut.
I mean, okay, listen. One of your complaints in the books is obviously that we don't learn about waygates until a bit later, and I'm going to try to not say what waygates are because I don't want to spoil the show for people more than they already are. But maybe they're introducing it sooner. Like maybe she tries to use what we can, and then later we get our friendly Ogier, and then this is my hope. This is my prediction because I do
like
not
it.
want to believe that my boy is not in this first
Introduce
season.
these right away so we can zoom all around everywhere right away.
Yeah, well, it makes sense if she tries to use one we can't, right? And then later we find out that we get someone we can.
No. Here's your boy. There's too many people in this, right? Moraine,
Uh,
Lance, Matt.
no, that's Tom, I would think.
Oh,
Oh, but
Tom,
wait, yeah,
Perrin.
I don't agree with it because he's just not big. I'm not saying he's there because he's not big enough. He should be half again. Remember, half again, Steve.
Yeah, half
Half
again.
again, half again as Saul as regular man. That is not half again as Saul as regular man.
No, it is not.
I mean, listen, if they didn't have the money, I'll say this, because we've been talking about money and stuff and the massive budget they've got, but also all the crazy things they're doing. If they didn't have the money to make Ogier look good in season 1 because they were putting it all in, to Trollocs and stuff like that, and they wait to include him until Book 2, I would rather him look right and get a proper introduction. I don't know how they could insert him later, but I guess it depends how far the first season goes in the book. So if they got to do that, okay.
Okay, let's finish this off.
The Dark One now.
Yeah.
The whole world will burn. I can't allow it.
Oh, that was good. That was a lot of okay, that no
The
steam.
wheel
What was that?
weaves as the wheel wills.
That's a pretty cool shot of the tower. Can you back up? I feel like there was.
Wait, there's one more.
Yeah. Sorry. Well, we can finish it off first.
Let me hear what he says.
Do you think we'll ever go back?
Home? No.
There ain't no going home again, Jeff. There ain't no going
Yeah,
home.
no, I know, but that's funny that she's like, no. Again, I guess with the new stakes and with the town being decimated the way it was, and then the further things they're experiencing, yeah, I guess they're taking away a lot of the sort of the hopefulness of a return to normalcy. Well, I shouldn't say take out a lot with one clip, but it was an interesting choice. Again, it feels like they're making a lot of calls for impact to the viewer.
Yeah.
I would think this would make someone who doesn't necessarily know about the show at least get a sense of what it's about, and be hyped.
Yeah, this is cool. I mean, they took I actually like the other one where it's just straight her voiceover the whole time, but they took a lot of the lines wholesale from that and just put it in here as voiceover. Again, giving you that idea of what the story is, but giving you like a lot more little clips, little glimpses of stuff that looks cool. So yeah, I think this is a good trailer. Can we just stop now though? Can this can this just be the end and then we can watch it in 3 weeks?
Everybody, the last thing they do is the real trailer. That's the way it's going to be. Maybe. I mean, listen, we've already said I would not to do any more making ofs. Like, I don't want to see more behind the scenes stuff because I want to keep the world, in my head as like a thing and it's unbroken by the reality of how it was made. So yeah, I mean, I think if they don't release any more of these trailers or little teasers, we're fine. But they may. I mean, it is Amazon. They might just keep trying to get as big a viewing audience for that first episode as possible. I just would like to go back and take a look at. There was a series of a bunch of crazy things that just happened, and I couldn't help it. But when we were loading this up, I saw someone else had done a reaction and said spear maidens. And if there are spear maidens in this somewhere, I think maybe that what I thought was snow was maybe a sand shot. If so, I would be very. So yeah, she's using some cool magic. Looks good.
Don't use it as a weapon though, Moraine. I mean,
well, they
don't.
can use it against the weapon against.
You took an oath.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
Oh, you paused it perfectly. That's
like
cool.
Kind of a beaked kind of crazy dude.
Trollocs we talked about us having like beaks and stuff. Yeah. Oh, looks like it could be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the other Trollocs. I'm glad they're doing it. I'm glad they got a beak guy.
I like him.
Yeah.
All right. I think this is what you're talking about. Hold on.
So the knife thing.
Was that knife thing?
Yeah. Well, the knife thing was cool. So again, maybe this is all happening very quickly in one scene with Logain, but they are showing a lot of Logain. So again, love that character. Yeah, all day. Give me Logain. So that, okay, yeah, stop.
So
yeah, that's
snow?
what they're saying. Yeah. So if you go back one past that even, and past that, because we got two things to take a look. So that that to me, I'm wondering if that's going to be the Valkyrie, maybe Lands people, maybe, but they don't have his strap on his head, which is what the Valkyrie normally wear. Maybe this is Shinar. Maybe. Sorry, I'm just
You're
saying
just
names
saying
that might mean
words.
nothing to
Yeah. That's okay.
they
Somebody
mean
out
nothing to
there
you.
knows what that means, so that's fine.
But cool. I mean, hey, listen, I'm excited to see Veneers. Okay, but the next one is the real one I want to take a look at. And yeah, this is looking like snow. Oh, I'm wondering if this is that like story that they hear. So yeah, this
Oh,
is
right, right,
definitely
right.
ideal. This is
But
definitely ideal because you saw those two spears on the back.
the two spears.
Yeah, in the shot right before that, there were two bloody spears on his back or on her back. Either way, yeah. So could go either. The ideal fight with spears.
Okay.
I have some of my favorites, so even getting a glimpse of them makes me happy.
Do you feel like
It would
that's
kind of make
that
sense.
story that the Tinkers said, but then like as the shot
Yeah.
progresses,
Who's the?
yeah, what kind of person is
It
this?
could be, or it could be showing maybe some of the history of the wars that have happened.
Uh-huh.
Maybe because those are referred to various wars that the IO fought in. So yeah, but I'm just hyped to see some IO. Yeah, I mean overall, now my concern is different
Okay.
than it was before.
All right.
But I'll let you go first. Do you have
No,
any closing thoughts
uh,
about this trailer?
no, I thought it looked cool. I like that we got more of that core story beat, and I like that it seems like it's jumping all over the place, with different
Yeah,
storylines. I don't know if that's going to be flashback jumping back, or if it's going
it
to be
could.
contemporaneous things jumping back. But I definitely like that. I'm glad I'm not just stuck with Rand on a road for
Well, I am
pages.
wondering how many. So how many of these story times will maybe be flashbacks of the history of what happened,
Hmm.
right? Maybe they're doing that for some, or maybe it is just cuts to Moraine and Land's past or the past wars, or yeah, I mean, if that would really be a way to use the history, the rich history that the world has more and more in our face
Mm,
in this first season.
mm,
Right? Well, okay, so yeah, no, I'm seeing some choices that I can get behind, right? Which is nice overall. Um, they haven't shown us a lot of the acting though, so I
mm,
am wondering, when people are making trailers, they're normally going to cut together all like the strongest things possible.
mm.
I suppose, Rand doesn't have to be as great an actor if they're balancing around all these different people. You can have one who's a bit weaker. I don't know. I'm hopeful that Rand's a great actor. But it feels interesting that mainly we just get to hear like Moraine talk. We
Hmm.
haven't even heard Logan speak. And then Tom a little bit, right?
Yeah,
But those are two actors I feel like, okay, cool. Also, as you said, that guy who is White Cloak, because I do recognize him.
yeah.
I can't think of what. But I mean, yeah, you make the White Cloaks a fun bad guy, like,
Hmm.
and again, the way the guy's already written is awesome. So I am all for some White Cloak stuff. Um, so I'm way more hopeful from this. That's a cool just shot
Hmm.
of the tower and like the various Ajahs lined up right there around the Amaryllis seats. But I am they barely have shown us any of the main cast. I mean, Matt's little line was quippy. That was fun. I mean, Egwene, when she asked who it was, seemed okay. This is the actor in me coming out. Like, it seems all right. Seems all right. Um, but yeah, not Rand-centric at all. Like,
Mm.
Rand had what, like, one line? Like, I really want to protect you or something?
Yeah, right, right.
So it's fascinating to go from Randland in book one. Well, for a long time, readers of Wheel of Time called the world Randland because there was no official name for the world that they're on.
Ah,
Yeah, they're never like a lot of books you read. They'll be like, "Oh, this is this," well, like in Dune, right? You've
right.
got the names of the. But here, it never was said. The name, so they call it Randland. So to go from that, which is so many, rand chapters, obviously, to this, he's barely a focus, and now any of five could be the one. Is an interesting change. Again, I'm not against it because that's more what the books become. So it feels like they're just kind of starting with that. Okay. I just hope they're all great actors.
Right on. Well, I'm
And
sure there'll be another of these out tomorrow, Jeff. So I will see you then, and we'll break it down.
They'll heard me. It'll be Rand's Quest. It'll be the next one we'll get to watch. It'll be all Rand. All Rand.
Oh no, my most hated clip.
Here's hopeful. They're definitely, in my mind, turning things around with what they're releasing. I am so hopeful that this is going to be a quality show. This trailer makes it seem like it could be, and I am waiting with bated breath to find out if that is the case. We shall see.
We shall see. All right, everybody. We'll see you all in the next one.
See you then.